It is National Sunglasses Day, apparently. So I'm wearing
So
sunglasses.
you're not just trying to look like an idiot.
No, I always look like an idiot. Here's the two reasons I'm wearing sunglasses. One, it's National Sunglasses Day, so it's timely. Two, as you'll see when I take off my sunglasses, there's something up with my left eye. Might be pink eye. I haven't gone to the doctor. I don't know. But I was looking through,
AIDS.
I was looking through it could be. I was looking through the list of things it could be, and bottom of the list was something called ocular herpes, which sounds like a transformer. Um, but I don't remember.
You are ocular herpes.
I don't remember. Yeah, we need Mark Wahlberg to go. I'll kick that ocular herpes ass. Uh, I don't remember a hooker sitting on my face or anything like that. So I don't think I have ocular herpes. I think
Not that you remember.
it's like a cold in my eye or something. But yeah, so there we go. I'm
You have taint eye.
taint eye. Yeah. So somebody pooped on my pillow. All right, this is US Fan TV. This is the Tuesday edition. Hello, everybody.
I was
We have a lot to
expecting
talk
worse.
about tonight. You probably can't tell. It's not terrible.
You should
Um,
have worn a Donovan jersey for what was the game where he
oh,
played with?
was the game? Wasn't it his last goal? The U.S. Mexico game in
I
Columbus.
think so.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah, that might be right. That might be right.
Um, but okay, so this is US Fan TV. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Gold Cup roster because we haven't talked about that. We were right in some areas and not so right in others about who's going to make that. We'll talk a little bit about Mexico. We'll talk about the Premier League. NBC is now going to be charging for 130 of the 380 matches for the Premier League. That sucks. We'll talk about that. But first, do you know what I did over the weekend? I went to the
Masturbated
Chicago Fire.
profusely.
No, no, I didn't do that. I went to the Chicago Fire versus Orlando City match. And I have to tell you, for about the last, I don't know, 6, 8 years, Toyota Park has been on the, to call it the decline is being generous. Not only has the team been bad, but the stadium's like gone from, hey, this is a brand new thing to, oh, this thing sucks. I gotta say, it's still in Bridgeview, but it felt a lot better Saturday night. The weather was nice. The team played out of this world good. Um, Booted Joe Bendick right off that Gold Cup roster, and the atmosphere was great. It was full. It was fun, and the stadium they've spruced it up a little bit. So we talked a lot of shit about the Chicago Fire, deservedly so. Uh, you know, for a long time, way before we had this show. But I got to say,
They
props to them.
were fully terrible for a long time. What annoyed me wasn't just that they were bad; it's that they were like evil to their own fans. Like
Yeah,
they were actively working against fans, and that was when I kind of gave up on them. I shouldn't say kind of. That's when I just washed my hands of them. Uh, it is cool that I don't know they're finally. What do you know? The very thing I'd said for years, like, oh, maybe if you like built around your midfield instead of just trying to find a new defender or a new attacker or something, go find somebody who can control the fucking field. What do you know?
yeah.
Like that's why we wanted them to sign Jermaine when he came over.
I got to say,
So it was like
Schweinsteiger
he'd be amazing for them.
Schweinsteiger's was a yeah, but he would have been here 1 year. Schweinsteiger
Probably.
was an outstanding signing in hindsight so far. He's a huge engine to that team. Dax was also very good. They're a very good partnership early in the season. It makes David Cam, a guy who we're going to be facing on Saturday, meaning the national team, look very, very good. He was always a talented player, but now he's got some guys around him, and so he's very dangerous. Hat trick the other night. So yeah, it's I'm not complaining. It was actually exciting to see what could happen if they actually give a shit and put something on the field that people want to go see. Um, so yeah, I was excited about that. So you know what? I think we should do the Premier League thing first because people are pissed about this, and then we'll talk about the Gold Cup roster and who Bruce is calling in. But
We're pissed about this, so
in case you haven't seen it, NBC previously was if your game wasn't one of the ones that was on NBC Sports Network or the main big NBC, or sometimes they put games on CNBC. If your game wasn't one of those, you could always watch it on extra time. So you could stream it on your laptop or Apple TV or whatever streaming device you have, your phone, whatever. So you could see your team, whatever team it is, even if it's Stoke or something like that. If you like Jeff
some
Cameron,
terrible team
like where our guy plays,
like Tottenham Hotspur or something,
I don't care about Tottenham fans, but everybody else this is concerning for. So you could see your team. You could see it whether it was on a screen or a TV or another kind of screen. That really went from we could see Arsenal half of the time to we could see them all of the time, and it was very cool. Well, now the new Premier League contract for NBC is a lot more expensive than the first one. And as an M80 goes off in my neighborhood, or a gunshot, I don't know. And so they're going to be charging for 130 of the games. They're going to be charging $50 a year to see those. And every team is going to be in that pool of 130 games at least 3 times. So even your Man Cities, your Chelseas, your Arsenals, your Manchester Uniteds, your bigger clubs are going to be 3 times in this pool of games that you have to pay extra for, or you have to go to a bar, or you have to find an illegal feed. This sucks. This seems like a step backwards. It seems like is the amount of money that NBC is going to generate from this enough to overcome the bad publicity and the lost goodwill that they had with the fans? I just don't see it as being a good thing. I know Fox already does this for a lot of things. They don't show up at
and Fox what is I can't think of what the thing's called. Fox Soccer to Go. That thing sucks. I had it for a while. What really pissed me off about it was that while I was using it, I kind of forgot I had it because it sucked so bad. So I don't want to see this essentially occur again. What's bullshit is it's kind of the same as like the MLS ticket or whatever that all the cable companies used to sell.
Yeah,
I suppose they
still do.
So I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's just a way of like extorting their customers. And is it just a money grab? Is it a way to recoup some of the money that it cost them to get the Premier League? Because in that case, stop spending so damn much. It's not my problem you made a bad business decision. You're selling a shit ton of advertising off this. I'm watching this, so I'm seeing your advertising, which is how you're getting paid. Not to mention you're also getting cable costs and everything. But I mean, I can understand it if you couldn't otherwise watch the games. But this is, to me, you're just driving people to go find an illegal feed, really.
It seems like,
I mean, I'll tell you right now, NBC, I'm not going to pay you. You get money from me as a viewer already by advertising. I'm going to go find an illegal feed for the games that I can't go to a bar to watch.
The problem is to me too that they're not if they put all 380 games in this package, for people who stream, that might be a cool option because it's not that much money to get everything, and you don't have to. If that's all it's one of the only things I watch on TV. So if that's all you want, then great. But no one's going to pay for, if you're a cord cutter, you're not going to pay for just this because this isn't enough. Yeah. You're seeing a lot of Stoke and a lot of Burnley and a lot of crap like that. You're not seeing the better teams except for the 3 mandatory games that they're on there. So it's not a good option for cord cutters, and it's not a good option if you already have MSN or NBCSN and you watch the Premier League every Saturday and Sunday, and now they're doing Friday and whatever. It sucks for you too, because there's going to be certain games that, I wanted to watch that game. Well, I used to be able to watch it for free, and now I can't. Now I have to throw another $50 into the pot and do this. So they obviously would have weighed there's an expected amount of money they think they're going to get out of this. And then there's people are going to piss off, and they've weighed this against it, and they think they can make money off it. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. But it just seems like a bad move to me. And it's disappointing because we used to brag. I can remember being in England and bragging to people there, I get to see any Premier League game whenever I want.
Yeah.
And you guys have like Sky and BT, and it's so restricted in the UK. It really sucks compared to what we had, and now we're going more in that direction. So, and
No,
just
this is kind of driving me to maybe I'm jumping ahead. I also think this is bad timing on their part because my guess is with the ramp up for the World Cup, Fox is going to start stealing people from NBC. Like sometime probably around January, February, right around like sweeps or something, they're going to start grabbing people to go be announcers or whatever for the World Cup. Is this a way that right now is NBC trying to make some money because they're looking at we're probably going to lose a bunch of things to Fox over the next year. We're going to lose people, we're going to lose viewers. So let's make ourselves more restrictive. It just doesn't make it doesn't make any sense to me from a business perspective. But then on top of it, yeah, it just feels like they're ripping us off, and they're doing it at a time when now my feeling is go Fox. Now get your shit together, have a better feed, and let's screw over NBC.
I can tell you from having spent time at both networks, Fox dramatically behind NBC as far as what they have in technology. But yeah, it was just today as well, or maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was today. I'm confusing it. But there's going to be Champions League games streamed on Facebook now. So you got one Champions League going the direction of free, and NBC with the Premier League, what I consider to be the gold standard of soccer from a production standpoint, from a broadcast standpoint. I don't know that it's the best league, but it's definitely in America the best presented league by far. They're regressing, so it's disappointing. It's I'll probably do it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just go to the bar the 3 times that Arsenal are going to be on. Or maybe it'd be nice my Arsenal games at the end of the year when we've already blown it, and so I don't have to pay anything. That would be ideal if they could do that. But
I mean, the other thing about this being an EPL thing is that those games are pretty easy to find an illegal stream of. It's much harder to find like a US game in illegal stream because there are far fewer people streaming them.
Yeah,
you can still find them, by the way. If you guys haven't checked, you can still find them, but they're much harder to find. They're like EPL, you can get like full HD streamed easily. I've had trouble at times getting US games. I mean, I get crap feeds. They cut out. They're gone in 5 minutes or something. EPL, I've watched an entire game in full HD, total live streaming, and
yeah.
What are they going to use this money to try and crack down on that?
It's
technically speaking, it only matters to them in the US. But
my favorite on the illegal streams is when you find the Arabic one, because as an Arsenal fan, it makes me think, this is how Osama bin Laden used to get his Arsenal games. Osama was a gooner. All right,
Michael Moore too.
Is he?
Yeah.
And there's some weird.
Hooray.
There's some weird Arsenal.
Trump's son.
Trump's son. Barron is a gooner. Yeah. Chris Christie, wasn't he? Isn't that the?
I know he's been to a game and worn a scarf.
That's all we can say for sure.
Yeah, I think he's more just friends with Stan Shitface Kroenke.
Yeah, probably KSE. All right, should we talk about the Gold Cup roster?
Let's do it to it.
So, goalkeepers, we were wrong. Just flat out wrong.
Now, not entirely, because I did say that if he doesn't take Bendik, like my choice was, I think based on what he said, he would take Guzan. But I would personally rather go with Guzan as a later, or Howard or someone as a later replacement. Give like Joe Bendik a shot and see what happens. And then we expected Jesse Gonzalez because we thought his paperwork was going to come through. So, we did say if his paperwork doesn't come through, things could change. We did not expect Sean Johnson to be the third choice.
No. But
that one I will say, no way in hell. I mean, I didn't even expect him to be on the 40-man roster, much less on the 23.
He's better this year, though. I mean, New York's a good team, and he's doing okay. So Um,
Well, and
maybe he just needed a
he
change of
he
scenery.
was right up there with Hamid a few years ago. I'm sure some of it that didn't help any. I mean, yeah, he played for a crappy team in front of a crappy or behind a crappy defense, and at some point, I think it does affect your head. I think that's part of Gazan's problem. It's not that he's a terrible goalie. Like, oh man, he got megged 3 times. Okay, bad things happen. It's that he played for two terrible teams, and by the time he was really, especially near the end of the season, getting games, both of his last two teams, they were so horrible that I don't think the defense is playing anyway.
They had
So it
given
just
up.
kind of
Yeah,
naturally makes him look. I think he looks worse than he really is, and maybe there was some of that to Sean Johnson. Having said that, no, I think Hamid is far superior goalie in MLS right now, and I don't know. There are guys having better seasons right now, so I just don't get um, why Sean Johnson got rewarded here. I mean, good luck to him. He was a cool guy when we met him. I don't have an issue with him. I certainly used to hope for him when he was playing for the Fire, that he would be a long-term replacement for Timmy. But I don't see the reasoning here.
I read this as Guzan is there for stability,
Yeah,
um, and Johnson and Hamid are there because Bruce wants to try out younger guys and see what they've got. Um,
yeah,
Jesse Gonzalez is not available. Um, I mean, I would have probably preferred Bendick, but I mean, I don't think he was at fault for. I don't know if he was at fault for any of the four the other night. I'd have to go back and watch, um, but yeah, I mean, I think that you're just giving younger guys an opportunity. That's why it's not Ramondo and Robles. That's why it's Hamid and Johnson. So, but whatever. It's who. I mean, I think that Guzan's probably going to be starting. I don't think you bring Brad Guzan to
yeah.
this and not start him. So, um,
No, I assume in his case some of this is about building him back up because he should be challenging for the starting position come next year. I mean, look at what happened in November. Timmy was out there, and 20 minutes in, 25 minutes, whatever it was, he ends up pulling that muscle. Well, he's down 5 months or whatever it was. If something like that happens again, it could be even longer. Yeah, and you start now looking at, is it the end of his career if something like that happens? I mean, I don't know that a muscle tear does that, but you start looking at these things start adding up, and recovery time takes even longer. You need another number one, and that is Guzan, especially for the time being. So yeah, I think he's probably here to get. I think he plays in the Panama game. Maybe he doesn't in the next two because we should be able to beat Martinique and why can't I think of the
Nicaragua.
other? Thank you. We should be able to beat both of those teams with kind of anyone in this squad that we trot out. So I could see where maybe he doesn't start in those games or doesn't play in those games, but I think he'll probably play in the Panama game. And I think his role here really is to get as many reps as possible, really kind of get him confident again, get him to secure the number one spot, number two spot, however you want to look at it.
Defenders were Matt Beasler, Omar Gonzalez, Matt Hedges, Eric Lehigh, Matt Miazga, Justin Morrow, Jorge Villafana, and Graham Zusi. I don't think there's any real major surprises. We were kind of thinking Omar might get left off um, until the knockout rounds, but he's there. Good to see Lehigh and Miazga there. We'll see what they can do. I hope they play. Villafana, like we talked about, he's kind of the number one left back at this point, but he's so new and
Yeah.
inexperienced in that role that I think it was important to bring him back. So I would expect we would see him starting at left back again
Yep.
in this tournament. And then guys like Matt Beasler are there. Graham Zusi's there, not because they're tremendous, but because they're experienced. They can play different roles. So that's why they're there.
Yeah, I mean, in Zusi, Beasler, and Lehigh, he's got guys who can play in any position really across the back line, certainly at either the fullback positions. So he's got backups. I think, yeah, Villafana is probably, yeah, I think Villafana and Acosta are two guys who you could see a lot of in this tournament because I think they're probably locking down their roles going forward. I think it's telling that Jermaine Jones wasn't called up, um, and that Acosta started in Mexico City. I think those are both signs that this is probably a changing of the guard. Then you add, as much as we're happy, you can pour one out or shoot one over the bar for Wando not getting called up. I think this is probably the end of his national team career, or the end of his attempted national team career. Whatever you want to call it. I think his national team career has ended.
There's a discussion going on right now about whether MLS sucks, and MLS is fine. MLS gets better every year. It's ours. It's not as good as watching a European league, but you know what? It's here, and we get to watch
Yeah.
it. So I hate trashing MLS for the quality. I'm fine with trashing MLS decision making and things like that because
management,
yeah,
team
that's
name selection.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the Portland Seattle game the other night. Allie before the game was making fun of he's like, oh, this is not a manufactured rivalry. We've tried in MLS to manufacture rivalries. And it just made me laugh. I was like, yep.
Chicago and Dallas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't want to trash it. Like of course it's not as good as Europe, but it's ours. I can't drive 15 minutes to go see.
It's what we've got.
I can't drive 15 minutes to go see PSG play or something like that. I have to go with what we have, and I had a good time the other night. It's soccer. It's decent quality. You get to see, it's afforded us the opportunity to see dudes like Thierry Henry play.
Yeah.
Which I know aging Thierry Henry, but still he's a hero of both of ours. And we got to see him because he would get hurt when we go see him in England. We got to see him in Bridgeview one time. So that's a cool thing. So, and whatever, it is what it is.
It's not terrible. To me, it's sort of like saying, oh, and I've heard this from some people I used to, I guess, befriend, that, college basketball is stupid because the NBA is so much better. And I was like, well, they're two different things. Like, judging them against each other, of course the one is better.
Right.
Like, there's money in the one. Officially, there's money in the one. There are reasons why one is superior. That doesn't mean that just because the players are better, that this can't also be fun, or that this can't even at times be more fun. Like, I think for bang for your buck, I think Bundesliga beats EPL at this point. It's not to say that I don't still think that some of the teams in the EPL may not have a better team experience or something, or the game might not be superior still. But there are, I think, for what you're getting, Bundesliga is more fun. And there's more back and forth. There's more exchange of players. You see more young guys come in. The fans are make a better crowd atmosphere. So
yeah,
it's different, but
it's
to sit and complain. Whatever. What do you want? I mean, to me, it's sort of a pointless discussion because in the end, you're just looking at this is what are you going to get instead? Are you only going to be happy when we have, effectively one of the top leagues in the U.S.? Well, that could be 20 years, maybe more. It's going to take MLS succeeding, and then it's going to take more money investment, and then when the pay raises, and then all the best players play here, sure.
Yeah.
And I think eventually that'll probably happen, but just looking at the history of the U.S., but we gotta get to that point.
Midfielders. Kellen Acosta, Paul Arriola, Alejandro Bedoya. A little surprised to see him there. Joe Corona, Dax McCarty, Christian Roldan, who Deuce probably did not appreciate that he started over him the other night. Kellen Rowe, Kenny Saif, and Giassi Zardes.
We were actually pretty close on this. I mean, really, the only one we missed was Bedoya. We expected Darlington Nagbe. I see why he sits, but to me, it was sort of like the Villafana pick in that again, he's fairly new to the national team. I think you want to see if he can lock down a spot. But you also know what you're going to get from him. So I think, Bruce is trying out. Well, we can get to kind of what the real point is of this roster in a few minutes. But, I think in the end, Bruce is trying to lock down additional spots. And I think it's pretty clear Darlington Nagbe has a spot come next summer. So,
Yeah.
Barring injury or whatever, he's going to be in Russia. So I think this is about it's just to see what others can do.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited for Kenny Saif just because he's a Champions League quality player. He wanted to play for us, and I read more about his background over the weekend. He was born here, but he hasn't been back to the United States since they left for Israel.
Since he was like 3.
Right. So he's like, he made no bones about it. He wanted to play for us because he wants to play for the better team that has a chance to go to a World Cup. So fine, just show up and, play your ass off for that flag and that crest, and cool, you're an American too. So, but I think we're all excited to see him, and I don't watch a lot of Belgian league, so the only chance I would really see him ever is either in YouTube clips or in Champions League games, in opening round Champions League games. So I've barely seen him. I'm excited to see what he'll do, and he's got to be a starter. He's got to be a starter.
I think, anybody who's making the switch right now did it with the understanding that they were going to get something out of it. That's why, that's why we had Jesse Gonzalez on our list too, was if you're signing that paperwork to make your switch, you've got to have a pretty good feeling that something's going to happen, because if he signs, let's say in Saif's case, if he signs and he doesn't make the squad, well, then he was better off staying with Israel, because, okay, maybe there's a 1 in 100 shot that Israel makes the World Cup, but that's better than never making it for the U.S. So at least he was playing there. So I have to think that he's starting here, but also, come on, he's played in the Champions League. Now, granted, that never meant a lot for Sasha Kleshtin for a long time, and frankly, I didn't think much of Kleshtin back in those days. But there aren't a lot of other guys that are playing in Champions League. So
we'll do forwards in a minute. Ricardo brought up the Mexico-Germany game. I have a hot take on this. I think Mexico's going to win. I know that's probably sacrilegious around here, but I actually think Mexico is going to beat Germany's B team Thursday and go to the final.
Well, the one thing they have going for them is Chicharito only scores in Mexico. So who's the home team on Thursday?
I don't know. I don't know. They're in Russia. So there's obviously a home team, but it's not really a home team. I did read a story today too about a Mexican fan.
Thank you for taking that so seriously.
I read a story today about a Mexican fan who told his wife he was running out for cigarettes and then went to Russia.
He didn't say where he was getting the cigarettes from.
That was his argument. He's like, I didn't tell her where I was getting cigarettes. So he flew to Germany, somehow tore his ACL in Germany, kept going to Russia, and he's there for the long haul. So props to you, dude.
Those are some cigarettes.
I hope you got your cigarettes. I'm sure they've got cigarettes in Russia. They have lots of things in Russia. They can get you things in Russia. Forwards, Juan Agudelo, Dom Dwyer, Jordan Morris. So we've got a guy with a lot of skill who also has a lot of issues. A Jordan Morris, a guy a lot of people love to hate because he's got no left foot. And Dom Dwyer, I think a guy...
Mr. Sidney Leroux.
Mr. Sidney Leroux. I think it's safe to say he's a guy that a lot of us are excited to see play for the national team, to see what he can do at this stage. So I hope, I think with 3 forwards, maybe Bruce is looking at going with 1 up top, or maybe he's going to bring in Clint Dempsey and Josie Altidore after the group stage games are over. I don't know. what his plan is,
I think
but
there's a chance of both of those things
yeah.
happening. Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't bring him forth. I mean, really, that was why we expected CJ Sapong. Like, to me, who sort of is playing Josie's backup? Does that fall to Dwyer? It's not going to be Jordan Morris. Um, I I wouldn't say that would be Agudelo either. I mean, Agudelo is more of an can play off of someone like Josie, but I would expect, with his feet, you want him to play with the ball, not just kind of hold up and lay it off to someone. So I'm not really sure who's kind of playing that Josie's role there. Or I guess we're just playing a different style. Maybe we'll switch in the later rounds. But if you look at what happened in 2014, if we're gonna have Josie out there and Josie's gonna be a starter, we need somebody who's gonna back him up. Because what the hell happens if he tears his hamstring 15 minutes into our first game and
Come on,
suddenly
you know who would have been good? That Donovan guy might have been a good addition to that
who?
2014 team. In hindsight.
Well, I mean, we had Wondolowski.
Yeah, I just, I think Donovan maybe has a better
Julian
chance.
Green.
If you get Donovan the ball about 5 yards away from the goal line, I think he may have a better chance of getting it over the goal line and not miraculously over the bar. But you know what?
I mean, I don't know. He scored like once or twice for the U.S., right?
God, is Julian Green completely off the radar too at this point?
Well,
Julian played well in that Cuba match.
Yeah, but then he went to Stuttgart and didn't really even lock down a starting position. I mean, had he gone and truly, made this his spot, maybe. I think you have to hope that that's what happens in the fall, but we'll see. Yeah, he's definitely off the list right now.
All right. So, I guess overall, what we've seen where he's going. We see the direction this is going. What do you want to see from these guys? Besides the obvious, we want them to win the games. What do you want to see? What do you hope to see? And does he ride with these guys after the group stage, or do you think he calls in the reinforcements at that point?
He'll call in reinforcements, I think, regardless. Now, what I think will happen in the meantime is, I think depending on how much we steamroll the opening round games, we'll see how much he makes changes. Ultimately, winning this is great. We want it because, of course, we want to win our own tournament. Of course, we want to, beat Mexico. But ultimately, this is about locking down those last spots. And I saw somebody make the comment that Arena's going to go MLS because those are the guys he knows and trusts. There's maybe something to that. I don't think it's just that, but I do think that there's, the fact that they're playing consistently, they're starting, they're building confidence, whatever. They look like they're on par. So he's going to draw from that group. I'm excited to see guys like Christian Roldan to see what he can do, especially after you look at what Arena didn't do with like Question and Failhaber in the last few games.
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise of the Arena era for me, is that we haven't seen Sasha and Benny. I thought they were surefire back with the team, and it looked like they were to start, and then they just haven't been. It shows you what he thinks of Pulisic in that number 10 role, but I expected to see one or both of them in this tournament, and I don't even think either one made the 40-man roster. Did Sasha? I can't remember if he even did.
No.
I know Benny didn't, but so it's he's looking to go forward, I guess, and we'll see. Mexico's doing a very interesting thing that you don't see a lot. They're fielding, so they've got their no, we see that a lot. They've got their game Thursday in Russia against Germany. They've got their A team there, and they've got a completely different team going tomorrow night against Ghana.
Yeah, playing the Black Stars of Ghana. so we can actually get an idea of what they might look like versus us come Saturday.
So, yeah, and we play that same Ghana team Saturday. Obviously, now that Chicago is good, I'm kind of pissed to see David Accam finally get a call up for Ghana and have to go to national team duty. But at least it's only a couple of games this week. So, good luck to him in the first game. I hope he doesn't do well.
Yeah, Christian, how do you feel about like half of Ghana's team being made up of guys from Columbus?
They're all the crew, yeah. I saw Christian yelling at Cincinnati fans yesterday on Twitter. It was a entertaining read, the string back and forth. So keep that up. It's fun. Yeah.
What happened to Julian, guys? He went to Stuttgart and didn't really lock down a position.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if he, some of it may have been the battle they were in this past season. Maybe with the off season to win the manager over, he'll have a chance to get into the starting role come the end of summer. But until he can have a consistent position, I mean, he dropped down a league specifically for that, and he still didn't get it. Until he can lock that down, I don't see anything changing for him.
Yes, Dominic, the practice jerseys are not only out, but Chris is wearing one right at this very moment.
I am. La 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 la.
There it is.
So you can see.
There's this midsection.
Was I nipping out like
a little bit?
Dom Dwyer?
Yeah. Kellen Acosta giving him a little bit of heat for that. That was funny. And what else? Christian Astorga wants to know, do we think Chile can beat Portugal? Yes, I do. I think Chile will win the tournament. I think it'll go, and I'll probably be completely wrong on this. I think Chile beats Portugal. I think Mexico beats Germany. It's ridiculous that I'm having both of the European teams lose, but that's what I'm doing. And I think Chile beats Mexico. Probably not 7-0.
What score do you think it could be?
Probably not 7-0. But maybe. So, yes. I mean, Portugal's obviously good. But it seems like Chile really, and Mexico too. Chile and Mexico really want to win this tournament. And they're taking it, Germany's like, they'll bring on B team, it'll be fine. They
we got little trouts.
We'll still toy with you without B team. Because Germany's can do that. But Mexico and Chile can't. They have to bring their stars, and they are.
Der Kinder.
Mexico loses on penalties to Germany, maybe. If it goes to penalties, I'm taking Germany, I'll tell you that. But we'll see. So, are you guys actually? I'm only kind of half watching this tournament. I think if the U.S. was in it, obviously I would care more.
Yeah, I mean, if the U.S. playing, of course I'd be watching. I've watched the games when it's been convenient to me. I'll probably watch
exactly
tomorrow if I can.
Yeah, it's if I'm here and it's on, I'll watch it if I have the ability to. But like if I'm not going out of my way to watch Confederations Cup like I would the World Cup or anything. So,
of course, England lost on penalties. England can't win on penalties.
Yeah, obligatory Jack shout out for that one. Sorry, Jack, but we all know this. All right, what's left? Have we covered it?
Damn right, Dan Lopez. Mexico or the England of the Americas. That's what we've talked about, at least between Pat and I, we've talked about for years. It's the same sort of thing where the media worships them. They think they're gods, and so they think they're better than they are, and then they can't play as a team.
There's so the same sort
Mexico of Mexico has had incredible talent. They can't put it together as a team generally because they all want to be the star, and England has the same issue.
It's the same sort of media too. They build you up and tear you down. They build you up and tear you down. That's what the but
I mean, England had Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, and they couldn't figure out how to put them both in the team. I'm sorry, not to mention if that was up to me, and the problem was, well, they won't work together. It would have been like, sorry, Frank, you're sitting down. And I hate Liverpool. Steven Gerrard is one of the best box-to-box midfielders I've ever seen in my life. That guy was amazing.
Yeah. Was amazing at getting a quick red card too. Stomp somebody 45 seconds into his last game. That was still
it was like 6 seconds.
Still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Have we covered it? Is there anything left? Is there anything left on the?
A couple things. U.S. Soccer still is not named the site of the
yes.
Costa Rica qualifier. However, Costa Rica's soccer federation, football federation, has come out and said that it will be Red Bull Arena. So I don't know if Red Bull Leipzig, you are happy about that, but a fellow Red Bull location should be hosting that game. Which I mean, that was the rumor all along. It's
right.
What was announced in the media months ago. Why U.S. Soccer hasn't confirmed it, I don't know.
Because Orlando was confirmed a long time ago. I don't know why. There must have been some sort of scheduling holdup that they had to get worked out before they had finally said that was where it was going to be.
So yeah, that still has not. It's still not official according to U.S. Soccer, but Costa Rica's confirmed it.
You haven't been. That's a gorgeous stadium.
Yes, in the middle of a shitty brown field.
Yeah.
Your shoes will turn like black, basically. Like your shoes and socks, everything below your knees, basically, will just be covered in like brown and black dirt, dust, rust, whatever the hell it is. all kinds of horrible, probably cancer, carcinogens or something, cancer-causing dirt. But yeah, stadium is beautiful. Inside that stadium, awesome.
Yeah, you're basically looking outside the stadium. You're in the brown field. You're looking across the river at Newark. There's like broken glass and probably bodies and stuff like that hidden in the swamps around you. And then you go in the stadium and you're like, holy shit, this thing is beautiful. It's like you're in Europe. It's the best MLS stadium I've ever been to. Yeah. But the surrounding area is terrible. So Dominic's going to Orlando. Chris, you might try to work an Orlando trip, I think, right?
I might try to pull this off. I've kind of considered the New York one too, because it is so easy to get there. I mean, now getting to the stadium, not particularly easy out of Manhattan, but
you take the whatever it's called, the Dart or whatever, right? You go to like 31st Street and shoot over on that little thing.
But
out in New Jersey.
It's Labor Day weekend. I've thought about maybe doing it. My company is based in Florida and has a big office in Orlando. I might try to pull off the this is a work trip and go to that game. I don't know. That one I think is it like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something? Like it screws up kind of the whole week if I do it. That's the problem there. Anyway, speaking of MLS stadiums though, one thing we haven't discussed, the Canada ripping off our Adidas aping the 94 World Cup jersey. Funny that it is Canada when what is it 3/5 5/8 what is Canadian money anymore to the dollar? I can't remember. What is the Canadian dollar do?
It's low. I don't remember, but it's low. But yeah, it's got stars and Maple Leafs on it. It's not
because I kind of feel like this is a Canadian dollar.
They do have
Canadian dollar, dude.
Let me play devil's advocate for a moment. This was Adidas's design, so they're only ripping off themselves.
It was.
And there are 3 Canadian teams in this league with very good players on them. So, yeah, I mean, are they?
I don't care. It's stupid. Do Canada shouldn't get it. Even though I don't like that jersey, it still feels like, no, come on. You can't give it to another country.
Well, they didn't completely give it to Canada. We mostly have it.
I know, but
I think you need to change your opinion on Canada. They're very nice people. It's a very beautiful country. We don't have time left in the show to go down the Canada rant again.
Holden's laughing, makes fun of Canada. That's an Australian accent. I know. I just like it because I was trying to think of what I was calling it dollary dues, and I was like, I don't know if anyone will get if anyone will remember what a dollary do is.
That was the Simpsons.
The stupid Simpsons joke about Australian money. I just like to call it, like, anyone who has a dollar or some money that you don't care about, call it a dollary do. Canadian dollary do.
All right. This is USfanTV. The website's USfanTV.com. We have the following things. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, and we have Instagram, and they're all USfanTV. Please go like our Facebook page. We have lots of people that do stuff on there, like and support the other pages. Our Facebook page is lacking. I'm trying to
It
put
needs
things on
some
there.
love.
I'm putting things on there for you people, so go like it, please.
Or
Also,
he will fight you. He will fight you.
we don't have Snapchat because we hate Snapchat, and we don't have
Because Snapchat
Pinterest,
sucks, Holden. That's why. We hate Snapchat because it sucks.
and we
Like
have
I hate the interface on it. I hate everything about it. I hate the way it works. I hate when they send you something and you can never figure out where the hell it is because nothing makes any sense because the graphics are nonsense. There's nothing intuitive about it. And because I got a Snapchat account to try and figure out how to do it for my work because I do some social media work, and we thought about trying to use it for US Fan TV, but they won't allow me to have a second account on my phone, so I have to like delete my personal account or something. So yes, we hate Snapchat. That's why.
thank you.
There's the explanation.
Christian just liked our Facebook page, so thank you, Ricardo. We will talk about
Woo-hoo!
VAR uh in the next show. Remind us if we forget, and we will talk about it because I do have thoughts on this. We hate Wando. Craigslist, you know where to find us. Leipzig, you know where to find us. That's all I can say. Who wants to sex Matumbo? Oh, it's Ben and Blazers. What else? Is that it? Oh, YouTube. Thank you for subscribing and all that stuff. Share the show. Tell your friends about it. You know, don't try to oversell it because then when they see it, they're going to be like, "You're an idiot. This is terrible." But you know, maybe kindly suggest to your friends that they come take a look.
Here's a terrible thing. You should try some.
Chris, do you have any final words?
No, you're done. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you Thursday night. You're done.